In this section, we're going to study a taxation problem. This is a highly simplified view of taxation reality, as anyone who's ever done taxes would attest, but it makes a good point of how such a computation could proceed. We're going to use both nested ifs and else chains. If the example were fully coded, we would have 25 options, the final one being an error condition, but we're only going to look at part of it in this section. The first thing we do is compute the proper status of the person, whether single, married, etc. We do an if condition and then an else chain to determine the proper status. Once the status is determined, we use a nested if to determine the income range and the tax based on the status and income. In this problem, we use a new method of the system object. It's called exit. Java provides this to allow us to terminate a program early before we've executed all the code. If the programmer determines there's nothing useful left to do, we can always call this to exit the program. The exit call takes a parameter, n. It's some integer value. Loosely stated, most programmers follow the idea that if the number n is 0, that is successful completion. That may be counterintuitive. We may think of 0 as off or false or some error condition. But if we think about it slightly differently, it makes sense. I recommend you think of the number n in this exit call, the number n, as the highest severity of the problems detected by the program, which means if no problems were detected, then we get a 0. Linux in particular has a loose standard of using progressively higher integer numbers to mean more severe problems or more problems discovered in the program itself. Negative integers would represent problems discovered by the program but that are external to it, such as operating system calls that failed. Either way, 0 is a good return code. We detected 0 errors, or the highest severity discovered was 0.